Hello, my friends. Dr. Alan Mandell here. We all know oatmeal is one of the healthiest breakfasts you can eat. It's rich in fiber, helps lower cholesterol, and keeps your energy stable throughout the day. Every morning, millions of people pour a bowl of oatmeal believing they're making the healthiest choice to start their day. Oatmeal, rich in soluble fiber, particularly beta-glucan, is known to lower cholesterol, stabilize blood sugar, and fuel the body with slow-releasing energy, providing sustained vitality. But here's what almost no one knows, that by adding just one simple, ancient ingredient, you can turn that ordinary bowl into one of the most powerful artery-cleansing meals on Earth. That ingredient is Ceylon cinnamon, nature's hidden circulatory miracle, a true gift for your heart. This isn't some exotic superfood that costs a fortune or needs to be imported from a remote island. It's something that's probably already sitting quietly in your kitchen cabinet, waiting to change your health forever, offering profound benefits. Scientists now call it one of the most powerful natural compounds for cardiovascular protection, blood sugar control, and inflammation reduction, truly a remarkable discovery. But few people realize that not all cinnamon is created equal. There are two main kinds, cassia and Ceylon, each with distinct properties. Cassia is the cheap, common cinnamon found in most supermarkets. It's darker, stronger in flavor, and unfortunately contains high amounts of a compound called coumarin, which can be toxic to the liver in large doses, making it less ideal for regular consumption. Ceylon cinnamon, known as true cinnamon, is lighter, sweeter, and safer for daily use. And what it does inside the body borders on astonishing, providing incredible health advantages. Ceylon cinnamon contains powerful polyphenol, natural plant compounds that act like shields against oxidative stress, protecting your cells from damage. When you consume refined sugars, processed foods, or trans fats, your body releases free radicals that damage the inner lining of your arteries, initiating a harmful chain reaction. That's the start of inflammation, plaque buildup, and hardening of the arteries, what we call atherosclerosis, a silent threat to your health. Over time, this invisible process narrows blood flow, raises blood pressure, and increases the risk of heart attack and stroke, impacting your overall well-being. But here's the shocking part. Studies show that compounds in Ceylon cinnamon can help reverse this process, offering a natural path to arterial health. In one study published in Diabetes Care, researchers found that just half a teaspoon of cinnamon a day significantly reduced LDL cholesterol, triglycerides, and blood glucose levels in people with type 2 diabetes, all major risk factors for cardiovascular disease, demonstrating its profound impact. Another study in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry showed that cinnamon extract improved endothelial function, the ability of arteries to relax and expand properly, crucial for healthy circulation. When your endothelium is healthy, your blood flows freely. Oxygen and nutrients reach your cells. Your heart beats with less effort, ensuring optimal bodily function. And your entire circulatory system functions like a finely tuned engine. Consider adding Ceylon cinnamon to your daily routine for these remarkable benefits and a healthier future. But what truly makes cinnamon extraordinary is how it interacts with insulin. You see, insulin isn't just about blood sugar, it's also a powerful regulator of inflammation and fat metabolism. When insulin levels spike, as they do with sugary breakfasts, white bread, or processed snacks, it triggers inflammation throughout the body, especially inside your arteries. Over time, this leads to insulin resistance, and that's when the body starts storing fat in the liver and around vital organs. Cinnamon helps stabilize insulin levels, keeping your metabolism balanced, your arteries calm, and your cells more sensitive to glucose. Imagine this: every spoonful of warm oatmeal becomes a vessel for healing. The soluble fiber in oats binds to cholesterol in your gut and pulls it out of the body before it can enter your bloodstream. Add cinnamon, and now you're not just lowering cholesterol, you're improving how your body handles sugar, fats, and inflammation all at once. It's a synergy that science can measure, but only the body can truly feel. Within weeks of adding Ceylon cinnamon to your daily oatmeal, many people report sharper mental clarity, smoother energy levels, and even improved blood pressure readings. That's no coincidence. Your arteries deliver oxygen to your brain. When they're open and clean, your mind feels lighter. When they're clogged, your focus dulls, your mood dips, and your body fights for energy. Cinnamon helps reverse that quietly, consistently, and naturally. In 2019, researchers discovered that cinnamaldehyde, the active compound that gives cinnamon its aroma, activates thermogenesis, the process by which the body burns fat to produce heat. This doesn't just support weight management, it reduces visceral fat, the dangerous kind that wraps around organs and chokes arterial pathways. By improving metabolism and reducing fat storage, cinnamon indirectly lowers pressure on your cardiovascular system. What's more, cinnamon acts as a natural anticoagulant. It helps prevent excessive blood clotting, a leading cause of sudden heart attacks and strokes. It keeps your blood flowing smoothly, your arteries open, and your heart rhythm steady. And unlike pharmaceutical blood thinners, cinnamon does it without side effects when used in moderation. Now, think about this for a second. You can spend thousands of dollars on supplements, diet plans, or medications, or you can simply take a half teaspoon of this golden powder, stir it into your oatmeal, and let nature's medicine work from within. It costs pennies a day, but the impact can be life-changing. When you eat cinnamon, you're not just adding flavor, you're triggering cellular protection. The antioxidants in Ceylon cinnamon rank among the highest of any food on the ORAC scale, the measure of oxygen radical absorbance capacity. That means it helps neutralize free radicals before they can cause damage. Each bite becomes an act of self-healing, a way of cleaning the internal highways that carry life itself through your veins. But here's something most people miss: the timing matters. When you eat cinnamon with oatmeal, the soluble fiber slows digestion, allowing cinnamon's compounds to stay in your bloodstream longer. That prolongs its effects on blood sugar and lipid balance. It's not just what you eat, it's how and when you eat it. This simple morning ritual, oats and Ceylon cinnamon, can help lower LDL cholesterol by up to 20%, reduce fasting blood sugar by 25%, and improve insulin sensitivity by as much as 30%, according to controlled human trials. Those aren't minor numbers, those are life-altering statistics. And yet, most people will skip this tiny step. They'll grab a sweetened cereal, a muffin, or skip breakfast entirely, unaware that their arteries are silently narrowing, their blood thickening, and their heart working harder each day. But you know now, one small change, one small habit, can alter the course of your cardiovascular health forever. So tomorrow morning, when the oats simmer on your stove, remember what's at stake: your arteries, your heart, your energy, your future. Take that half teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon, sprinkle it with intention, and stir it in slowly. Watch it dissolve into the oats, because that moment represents more than breakfast. It represents protection, healing, and the power to control your own longevity. You don't need to wait for symptoms. You don't need to wait for a diagnosis. Prevention begins here, in your kitchen, in your hands, with one simple choice repeated every morning. Cinnamon doesn't work overnight. It works over time, quietly restoring what years of stress and poor diet have taken away. So, if you do nothing else for your heart, do this. Add Ceylon cinnamon to your oatmeal. Do it for your arteries. Do it for your brain. Do it for the years you haven't lived yet, the energy you haven't felt yet, the clarity you didn't know you could still have, because the road to a healthy heart doesn't begin in a hospital. It begins with one spoon, one bowl, one habit, and it begins today. Every heartbeat sends life rushing through your body. Every beat is a promise that oxygen will reach your brain, that nutrients will fuel your cells, that your heart will keep you alive one more second, one more minute, one more day. But deep inside your arteries, something invisible begins to change long before the first chest pain, long before the first dizzy spell, long before a doctor ever warns you that your arteries are narrowing. It begins with inflammation, tiny, silent wounds that spread beneath the surface of your blood vessels like cracks in an old bridge. You can't feel them, but they are there. And this, my friends, is how most heart attacks begin, not in a single moment, but in years of microscopic damage ignored by the modern lifestyle. Science has now revealed that our greatest enemy isn't cholesterol alone. It's inflammation and oxidative stress. These two forces work hand in hand, corroding the walls of your arteries until they become stiff, sticky, and lined with plaque. Imagine your bloodstream as a clean, smooth river. Now imagine dumping buckets of sludge into it every single day. Processed foods, sugars, hydrogenated oils, smoking, stress, and lack of movement. Slowly that river begins to thicken. The walls of the river harden. Blood doesn't flow freely anymore, it fights to move forward. That's what happens inside millions of bodies every day, a slow suffocation from within. But the body isn't defenseless. Nature built an entire army of compounds designed to fight back: antioxidants, anti-inflammatory molecules, and plant-based phytonutrients. When scientists study the healthiest populations on Earth, the Okinawans, the Sardinians, the Nicoyans, they find the same secret running through their diets: foods that protect the endothelium, the delicate inner lining of your arteries. When the endothelium is strong, your blood flows like silk. When it's weak, the plaque begins. In a groundbreaking study published in the New England Journal of Medicine, researchers discovered that people with high endothelial function had a 70% lower risk of heart disease compared to those with low function. regardless of their cholesterol numbers. That means even if your cholesterol is normal, your arteries could still be at risk if inflammation is eating away at that vital inner layer. Think about what happens when you eat a meal loaded with refined carbs or fried fats. Within minutes, your blood becomes thicker, your vessels constrict, and inflammatory molecules flood your arteries. Scientists can measure this spike. It's called postprandial endothelial dysfunction, and it happens after just one unhealthy meal. Now imagine what happens after hundreds, thousands, over decades. It's not one meal that kills you, it's the accumulation of years. But here's where hope enters the picture. The same science that uncovered the damage also discovered the repair mechanisms. Nutrients like omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin C, magnesium, and polyphenols found in berries, olive oil, green tea, turmeric, and yes, cinnamon actually heal the endothelium. They reduce oxidative stress, allowing nitric oxide, a natural gas produced by your cells, to relax and expand your blood vessels. The wider the vessel, the easier your heart works, the better your circulation, and the more oxygen your body receives. In one fascinating study, scientists at Johns Hopkins found that within just 2 weeks of adding antioxidant-rich foods to the diet, participants showed measurable improvements in arterial elasticity. Their blood vessels literally became younger. That's right, your arteries have the ability to reverse age-related stiffness when given the right nutrients and habits. Let that sink in. Aging arteries can heal. Hard, narrow blood vessels can soften. Plaque progression can slow down and in some cases partially reverse. But it doesn't happen through pills or promises. It happens through food, movement, hydration, and consistency. Another shocking fact in autopsies of young soldiers, average age 22, researchers discovered early stages of arterial plaque in nearly 80% of them. Young, strong, athletic men already carrying the seeds of future heart disease. That's how early this process starts. It's not a disease of old age, it's a disease of time, diet, and neglect. So how does the science of protection actually work? Picture each molecule of antioxidant as a firefighter inside your bloodstream. It rushes to the site of inflammation, neutralizing free radicals before they can damage the arterial walls. Vitamin E, for example, helps prevent LDL cholesterol from oxidizing because oxidized cholesterol is what sticks to artery walls, not normal LDL. Polyphenols found in plants reduce adhesion molecules, the sticky proteins that cause immune cells to latch onto your arteries and start forming plaque. Even something as simple as maintaining hydration affects this process. Dehydration thickens the blood, raising the risk of clots and high blood pressure. But when you drink enough water, your blood becomes less viscous, it flows freely, delivering oxygen efficiently to every organ. Your body's natural rhythm depends on that flow. Every heartbeat is a wave of life traveling through those arteries, and the cleaner that pathway, the stronger your vitality. And here's another truth the medical world is finally admitting: emotional stress is biochemical stress. When you live under constant worry, anger, or anxiety, your body releases cortisol and adrenaline that constrict blood vessels and trigger inflammation. Chronic stress literally reshapes your arteries, making them rigid and reactive. But when you breathe deeply, meditate, or simply slow down, you lower cortisol, allowing your vessels to expand again. This is not spiritual guesswork. This is measurable physiology. A Harvard study found that people who practiced mindfulness meditation for just 8 weeks had improved arterial flexibility and lower blood pressure compared to those who didn't. Your thoughts are chemistry, your emotions are hormones, your habits are medicine. And yet, even with all this knowledge, billions of dollars are spent each year treating symptoms instead of causes. Pills that manage blood pressure but never heal the inflammation underneath. The science of artery protection tells us that healing doesn't come from fighting the body, but from supporting it. When you nourish your cells with oxygen, antioxidants, and real food, your body does what it was designed to do: repair, regenerate, and thrive. Think of your arteries as living highways. When they are clean and flexible, your body hums like a new engine. When they're clogged and cracked, every system suffers: brain fog, fatigue, erectile dysfunction, memory loss, all linked to poor circulation. Everything begins with blood flow. Without healthy arteries, nothing else functions properly. Now imagine this: every sip of water, every spoon of oats, every handful of blueberries, every sprinkle of Ceylon cinnamon. They are not just food, they are microscopic repair kits traveling through your bloodstream, patching up damage, fighting inflammation, and restoring vitality one cell at a time. You may not feel it today, but your future heart will. The human body is not fragile, it is resilient, self-healing, and intelligent beyond comprehension. The arteries that feed your heart can rebuild themselves if you give them the right environment, and science now proves it's never too late. Even people in their 70s and 80s show improvement within weeks of changing their diets and habits. So the next time you eat, move, breathe, or rest, remember this: your arteries are listening. Every choice you make writes the story of your circulation. You can feed inflammation or you can feed restoration. The power is always in your hands and in your plate, because longevity isn't about living longer, it's about keeping the pathways of life open, flowing, and free. Every heartbeat is a gift, every artery is a bridge, and every moment you choose to protect them, you're choosing life itself. Every habit you repeat writes a new line in the story of your health. Every small choice you make, every sip, every bite, every breath is either repairing you or destroying you. The difference between a vibrant life and a slow decline isn't written in genetics, it's carved in routine. Science calls it behavioral momentum. Your body responds to what you do most, not what you do occasionally. And that's why something as small as adding one powerful ritual each morning can alter your destiny. Because real transformation never starts with drastic change. It starts with one consistent, simple, safe daily habit. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning. The sun touches your skin, your heartbeat greets you from within, and your body silently, faithfully asks for what it needs to stay alive. Not perfection, not punishment, just nourishment. When you reach for that warm bowl of oatmeal, you're not just feeding hunger, you're engaging in a biological conversation with your cells. You're telling them, I choose life. But here's where the secret begins. When you take that single spoonful of Ceylon cinnamon and sprinkle it over the oats, you're doing something extraordinary. You're teaching your arteries how to heal. It may sound poetic, but it's pure science. Consistency changes biology. Research from Harvard University shows that small, repeated actions, even as tiny as adjusting what you eat for breakfast, can reprogram your metabolism within days. The human body is dynamic. Your arteries are constantly regenerating, your cells constantly turning over, your blood being filtered and renewed every 90 seconds. Every time you make the right choice, you redirect that regeneration toward healing. Doctors used to believe that once arteries were damaged, the process was irreversible. But we now know the opposite is true. In a landmark study published in The Lancet, patients who followed consistent, small daily lifestyle changes, mostly dietary, showed measurable regression of arterial plaque within 12 months. Their arteries literally became cleaner, not through drugs, not through surgery, but through repetition, through habit, through the science of routine. That's why one simple ritual, like eating oatmeal with Ceylon cinnamon every morning, has power far beyond its ingredients. The oats deliver beta-glucan, a soluble fiber that binds cholesterol in the gut and removes it before it ever enters the bloodstream. The cinnamon stabilizes insulin, reduces inflammation, and protects the endothelium, the delicate inner lining of your arteries. Together, they create a synergy that medicine can't replicate. One lowers the load, the other repairs the damage. And when you repeat this combination day after day, you're not just maintaining your health, you're training your body to defend itself. Think about that for a moment. Most people wait for crisis before change. They wait for the blood test that comes back with a warning. They wait for the doctor to say, you need to lower your cholesterol. But by then, the damage is already happening. Prevention isn't glamorous, but it's powerful. It's quiet, steady, and relentless, just like you must be if you want to outlive your bad habits. In 2022, researchers at Stanford analyzed over 40,000 participants and found that those who practiced one consistent healthy morning ritual, something as simple as a daily nutrient-rich breakfast, hydration, or a morning walk, had a 36% lower risk of developing metabolic or cardiovascular disease, not because of what they did once, but because of what they did always. That's the secret no one talks about. Frequency beats intensity. Small daily wins beat occasional bursts of effort. Your arteries don't care how motivated you feel today. They respond to chemistry, not emotion. When you eat clean, anti-inflammatory foods consistently, your blood becomes less viscous, your vessels stay flexible, and nitric oxide production remains strong. But when you fall back into processed, sugary, or high sodium habits, your vessels tighten, your blood pressure rises, and inflammation creeps back in. The body always mirrors your patterns. That's why the most powerful thing you can do for your heart is not a diet, it's a ritual. A morning routine that tells your body every day, we are protecting this vessel. You can pair your cinnamon oatmeal with something simple. A glass of water with lemon to kickstart hydration, a few deep breaths to lower cortisol, or even a 5-minute walk in sunlight to boost vitamin D and improve blood circulation. These are not random health tips. Each one has measurable physiological impact. Hydration alone can lower your blood viscosity by up to 10%. That means your heart pumps blood more efficiently with less strain. Morning sunlight triggers nitric oxide release, which relaxes arteries. Slow breathing lowers stress hormones that constrict blood vessels. Add them together, a warm, heart-healthy meal, deep oxygenated breaths, hydration, and a calm mind, and you've created a cascade of healing chemicals in your body before the day even begins. You don't need expensive supplements. You don't need complicated diets. You need consistency, because the most dangerous thing about poor health is not what it does overnight. It's what it does quietly over years of neglect. It's the skipped breakfast, the processed snacks, the chronic stress, the lack of sleep. These small errors in judgment, repeated daily, become disease. But small corrections, repeated daily, become healing. Your arteries respond to every meal like an audience to a message. When you feed them sugar and trans fats, you send a signal of chaos. When you feed them fiber, antioxidants, and minerals, you send a message of peace. It's that simple. Every bite communicates something to your body. The question is, what are you saying every day? Science confirms this truth again and again. The human endothelium regenerates every few months. The liver regenerates in weeks. Blood cells renew every 4 months. Your body isn't the same one you had a year ago. It's rebuilt from the materials you give it. When you choose nutrient-rich, anti-inflammatory foods each day, you're literally constructing a new version of yourself from the inside out. There's no magic pill that can compete with that. A capsule can't replace consistency. A supplement can't substitute for discipline. You don't need another promise of quick results. You need a routine that outlasts motivation. Because health doesn't happen in a moment, it happens in momentum. So tomorrow morning, as the world rushes around you, take a moment to slow down. Boil your oats, breathe deeply, and reach for that jar of Ceylon cinnamon. Sprinkle it like medicine, not seasoning. Let its warmth remind you that healing is not about intensity, it's about intention. And when you sit with that bowl, remember this isn't just breakfast. It's a message to your heart that you haven't given up on it. In a world where everyone is searching for shortcuts, you'll be the one who understands the truth that real longevity is built quietly, spoon by spoon, day by day. Because the greatest act of self-care is consistency. The greatest medicine is patience. And the greatest power you hold isn't in what you do once, but in what you do always. So keep showing up for your body. Keep choosing life, even in small ways. Because every morning you honor your health, your arteries listen. They heal, they open, they flow, and somewhere deep inside your heart whispers back, thank you.